Hello and welcome. Today we've got Alexander Quinn with us. Before we begin, I would like you all to subscribe to my Telegram channel and my website called nicholasveniamin.com. Alexander, how are you? How long has it been now since we done a last chat?
I think it was 3 months ago. We had a chat.
Wow, it's gone that fast.
Yeah, I know. There's just so many amazing things happening. There's still some weird things happening. There's still things happening that we need to stop. But I think the white hats are getting control of that, so we're good. But yeah, time is just like. Phew.
Yeah. And you said that there are a few things and notes that you wanted to go over, which was interesting because one of them that you mentioned was Sean Hannity on Fox News. Is mainstream media are already going on that Biden may be a clone or even a lookalike.
I've even got. I will just show 3 seconds of it, just so people believe this is real. Just so people actually believe this is real.
I look at Joe Biden in 2012 and Joe Biden in 2016.
So that is Hannity on Fox News, basically for the first time ever coming out and basically saying Joe Biden might be a clone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on Fox News, and Hannity came out and he basically saying, this guy ain't right. And then he basically showed footage of like 2008 and then like recent footage. And it's like the guy's got dementia or something. It's like the old Biden used to be like kind of with it. And then the new guy is just like, he can't even string a sentence together. And they basically put the two footage together like 10 years apart. And they were like, that's not Joe Biden. That's not Joe Biden. So that was unbelievable. Fox News are red pilling the zombies out there at the moment with something at that level.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. That blew me away when I saw that. So,
and even the ears. I mean, one's stuck and one's round. I mean, who would do a facelift on their ears?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, unless you're like a plastic surgery performance artist.
But not even Michael Jackson did that. Yeah. you know, which is good news because it only tells us that he's got to be a lookalike or a clone or something. Like we've been expecting.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite clone stories is that, the highest intel that I've had, because me and you talk to a lot of truthers. I get sent a lot of stuff from who those guys in the face mask, Anonymous. So for some reason, that hacker group Anonymous really like me, and they send me a lot of stuff. And the intel they were telling me is that, when Hillary Clinton she had to kind of break down like a health problem, as she fainted getting out of a car. They drove her to her daughter's house. And then she went in there, and apparently she died in that house. And the thing that came out was not Hillary Clinton. It was actually her doppelganger. So as we all know, there's a ton of people out there. Like you said with Biden, the ears completely changed. So he used to have like an earlobe like this, but now it's a really long, weird thing. And so, that's all kicking off. So, that's a big deal. That's a big deal to kick this interview off with the fact that Fox News is red pilling like a beast. That they're basically they're not holding back at the moment, and that blew my mind. So there are some media outlets out there who are starting to raise their game.
Mm-hmm,
They're truthing us. They're truthing us at the level that we'd like. It's not there yet, but we're getting there. So that's all I'm going to say on that for time being.
Well, even mainstream media, I was speaking to Charlie Ward earlier, and he said 7 mainstream media outlets in Myanmar have had their licenses revoked. So it's happening. Things are starting to happen, but very, very slowly, drips and drabs. And I believe it's going to take months, because this isn't just a 4-year election.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Well, and also the funny, the other amazing thing, Nick, is that the CGI is starting to fall apart on all these things. Let's look at 2 big ones, right? So the inauguration, yeah. There's a whole load of people in Washington who were like, "Well, that's funny. I never saw any fireworks on inauguration night." And then when you look at the inauguration, it's like looks like Guy Fawkes night going off. And when you look at, the Meghan Markle just did that big interview with Oprah, right? Now, when you look at Oprah, obviously she was wearing a tag. Obviously, I know you know that because I watched. I think you were talking to Michelle and you were talking to her about it, and I saw that. But she was wearing a tag, so we know that much. But also, the other thing is that when she did an interview with Obama at some point, but they openly said, "Hey, look, I'm somewhere and Obama's somewhere else," and they had a fireplace in the background. So on that interview, they openly said, "Hey, we're not here, we're not together." But on the Meghan Markle interview, they didn't say that. And see, what happened is if you look at Oprah, her clothes were flapping around in the wind. So her dress was flapping around in the wind. And when you look at Markle, nothing's moving. So we know that was a CGI. We know that was not a real one. So, some of the CGI is starting to fall apart out there, which is great. It's great to watch. And we're seeing it. Oh my God. And they got incredible technology. You think their game would be a bit better than that.
I like that observation, Alexander. I think I'm going to go back and check it out after. That's those are little things that the average person can't identify. But thank you very much. And I'm going to have a look at that. Absolutely. That's very, very interesting. And yeah, I'm not surprised it's CGI, to be honest with you. I think, it's propaganda. I was doing another interview with Alan Fountain, and he says that it's distraction,
Yeah, and while we're talking about distraction, I'm talking about lots of little things today, lots of little updates. But another big distraction that's happening at the moment is there are definitely 100% forces out there, especially in the spiritual and metaphysical groups. Because as you will know, a lot of the spiritual people are very ahead and making predictions about things that are happening because they've really got their ear to the ground and getting information from the galactics and other things about things that are rolling out. But right now, more than ever, for some reason, there is a lot of darkness and people going, this has been infiltrated and this is not real. And the Galactic Federation of Light are fake and this is fake and that's not real. And my truth is better than yours. And there is something inside the communities which is pulling everyone apart. And the message I really want to say to people is don't let all this disinformation and all this stuff pull us all apart because it wants to distract us. It wants to have us all fighting at the moment. And we've got to stick together like glue right now. So if we're all fighting and they're saying, well, my truth is better than yours and that guy's truth is not very good, I'm going to slander them and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And this person, we got to be like brothers and sisters right now. We're in the fight of our lives. And, there's a spiritual war going on. World War III is a spiritual war. So to all my brothers and sisters out there watching, we got to stick together. And if something doesn't resonate with you or, if there's someone you don't like, just park it. Just say, hey, that doesn't resonate with me. But there's a lot of good people out there trying their best. So regards, my truth is the best. And this been infiltrated and that person's dark. It's all a big distraction. You got to just focus on your inner work.
Absolutely. No, 100% agree. You have to. It's really important. You really have to, I always I always take the good things from people and, I do what makes me happy and everyone should be happy,
Yeah, everyone should be happy because actually, I think, if everyone was just super happy, I mean, basically the Maharaji effect is where everyone does a meditation together. And then basically the resonance goes out. They've even proved crime goes down, all this kind of stuff. So, they basically register the Schumann resonance and the electromagnetic sphere of the earth. So they've been doing it for a long time and there's massive peaks. So when 9/11 happened, there was a massive peak that went down in happiness. So they've measured happiness with the electromagnetic sphere and Schumann resonance and stuff. So if everyone was just super happy, you're dead right. There would be a massive, the peak would go up. So, it sounds like, a bit of a kind of generalization. Everyone just needs to be happy. But seriously, if everyone just woke up on the right side of the bed tomorrow, it would affect the planet really, really quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can I talk a little bit about some currency reset stuff?
You go for anything you want. Honestly, I know you got some really interesting stuff that you want to discuss and share with the listeners. Absolutely. Go for it. So That
And
is something that everyone's waiting for, and something that people are looking forward to contribute for the humanitarian projects as well. It's huge. It's the wealth transfer, the money from the bad guys that have stolen the currencies and in the monetary system from the people for hundreds of years now.
I was talking to Charlie Ward the other day. He was saying that he knew about some of the Venetian families that he has. I think he's been part of trying to get illegal money back, or he was part of something, or he was privy to something like that. And he was saying that some of the, there's like the Club of Rome, there's like certain other Rothschilds things. And he said some of the Venetian families, I think they confiscated or they were aware of something like 4 quadrillion euros or something like that. So there are vast amounts of money out there, which we don't even think even exist. But the, like the Philippines Fund and all these, the Saint Germain Fund and these humanitarian projects that humanitarian funds that basically, whether it'll happen or not, but basically the equivalent of everyone could get like £1 million, and then still there'd be change left over. So there's so much wealth out there that the 0.001% has. So I mean, the big thing that some of the people that I'm talking to are with regards to reset, and I'd like your opinion on this, but people are talking about you need to go out there and buy Vietnamese dong and the Zims, which is the Zimbabwe currency, because I think something like last time I checked, $1 will get you something like 400 Zims or something like that. Vaguely, I'm gonna have to go and check it out, but. Mm-hmm. But if and when the currency resets, they're basically all these currencies that have been damaged more often than not deliberately by Soros and Rothschilds and other forces that have basically ruined the entire economies. They're going to do a reset whereby they all go back to the same standard. They go back to the same strength. So if you go out and buy a whole lot of dong and Zims and other things, and I'm sure you probably know even better than me, then basically what people are banking on is that, well, your currency is going to be worth a lot of money overnight, basically.
Yeah. So right now it's like, I think if you exchange 1 million dong, for an example, it's like, 1 million dong is like what, $40 or £40. So what happens is if you got 1 million dong, and it goes to level playing field, like what Trump said, he said he's been worrying about the currencies for a long time, and that we should all be in level playing field, and that's the only way we can trade and compete fairly, he says. And also, these currencies are so weak because their currencies are have been manipulated, and they have currency manipulators on them from the Fed or by the Fed. And Trump wants to get rid of all of that. And I believe it's in the process. I believe it's all being complete now. We're waiting for it to happen. So if you've got 1 million dong and it goes to level playing field, it will be $1 million or £1 million. It might not be exactly, but it will go give or take around that level playing field. So you'll be very wealthy if you've got dinars or dongs or Zims. It would be like that. And even the deep state are aware of this, and they're trying to stop the currency or the wealth transfer from happening. And the reason why they're trying to stop that is they're trying to, you go to most post office or most currency exchange places, you can't buy dinars, you can't buy dongs, you can't buy any of these currencies. Most of them have stopped them. But there is one place that I've bought some from. It's called nasara.shop. I will leave the link below in the description so you can check it out if you want some. That's the only place that I can find that are shipping internationally that can do that. The demand is quite high, and a lot of people in this truth movement know about this. Most people know about this, and they're looking to do it. But again, the deep state are doing everything they can do. They are really backed in a corner, and they are throwing everything they can to stop this from happening. This is their worst nightmare, is to see the Federal Reserve being abolished and the transfer of wealth being transferred from them to we the people. So yeah, and this is going to be a gold-backed currency. So all the currencies will be backed by gold, which means that it will no longer be backed by debt and interest, and this illusion of the Federal Reserve, which was created shortly after the Titanic, which was used to kill lots of people, wealthy people who
Yeah.
disagreed, who would not support the Federal Reserve Bank. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I did hear about that. That the Titanic, there was actually a bomb in the front of the ship, and it was not actually hit by an iceberg, because there were so many wealthy and instrumental and influential financial people that were all on that boat all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted them all gone so that they could pave the way for, well, the fiat system and everything else. Yeah, that is something I've been coming across a lot. So
Absolutely. But it will be amazing if this could happen, because the cabal have stolen from us for years. By the way, are you all right with me saying any words? Are you putting this on YouTube?
Oh, no, you can go for it. You can say anything you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, because we're open. I mean, I can say, this is on BitChutes now, so we can say whatever we want.
It's rare that I get to say whatever I want, because usually it's going out on someone else's YouTube or mine. So today I think I'm just going to just blast it as hard as I can. So let's just go hard.
Yeah. The censorship is terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I just wanted to also mention, actually, speaking of this, is I've done an interview with Jimmy and Joanne. They are Texans, and Jimmy used to be an ex-banker, and he knows Treasury officials, and he has also spoken about the Libyan story. He's an eyewitness to the whole Libyan story when the Obama's troops went to Libya and acted as if Gaddafi was this bad person and they killed lots of people. He told the story, and I would like to announce that he sadly passed away the other day. And apparently he was poisoned by the deep state and received many, many threats. So I would like to pay my condolences and my respects to his family, and especially his wife and Joanne. And I would like to also say that I'm very sensitive to your pain. So may God rest his soul.
Wow, that is terrible. And he was in the banking community, yeah?
He was a multimillionaire, and he was an ex-banker. They lost everything after that. And he came back. He had such many stories to say. But I've got two videos with him. One's the Libyan story, and the other one is about the currency revaluation, saying that the RV is a real thing. The revaluations of currencies is a real thing, and it's not a theory. And he was explaining why and who's in charge and how, and it was very interesting. So I've got those two videos on my BitChute. His name is Jimmy and Joanne. It was a married couple from Texas telling me these stories. Very interesting. And I find that it's the first time look, all of my videos are valuable, but for the first time in my life, now that someone has passed and that I have two videos of this person, I really feel that these videos are two precious interviews that I will value. Like, I value all of them, but it makes me want to go back now and see more of those videos that I had, and it's just shocking, with all the
shocking. I tell you what, regards the banking thing, I think a lot of the really bad banking people at the top are starting to come out. I'll tell you a very quick story before we get on to anything else. I can't name this person, but it's someone I've known very, very well for, say, 30 years.
Right.
And they were getting very, very high up in the banking world. I'm very, very close to this person. And I was having dinner with them not that long ago. They were basically very, very big in England. And I was having dinner with them, and they were telling me this unbelievable story about how they basically hit a glass ceiling and they couldn't push up through it because as they started getting higher and higher up in the banking world, they were getting asked to be chairman of this and chairman of this thing, and can you be part of this organization, and can you help us fund this thing? And the higher and higher they got up, this is in London, people way at the top started saying, okay, we want you to be part of this organization, which is supposedly going to support like the family unit, or it'll give funding for this organization or whatever. And then he was turning up to these meetings, and then there would be other very high powered people in the room, some people like you've seen on TV. And then supposedly these organizations that actually help other organizations out and help the family unit and give charities and stuff. The conversations that were actually going on in there were like actually to disrupt, disfund, destroy like people's lives and stuff, steal money. And this person who's very, very close to me was saying, hold on 1 second, this is actually nefarious, this stuff. Like you actually want to do what you want me to start doing too. And the higher up he went in the banking world, he encountered this more and more and more and more, to the point where they wanted him to start destroying people's lives and selling companies where people would lose all their life savings and everything. And he got to a point where he was like, I'm not going to do this. And one day he was in a room with some people, some of them quite well known, some media people, and this woman pulled him out of him. He basically said, I'm not going to do it. This was in the mid-90s, and a woman pulled him out of the meeting and said, you have no idea who you're playing with these people. You haven't got a clue. And she said, if you carry on any longer, they'll wipe you out and destroy you tonight. Your life will be over by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. And apparently she just turned around and walked off down this hallway, and this person who I know incredibly well just watched her walk off. And he was so shaken, he left the banking world after that. So I mean, there's this very famous German guy, I can't remember his name, but I think if you type in YouTube ex-banker comes clean about Illuminati, he's basically saying that as he was getting higher and higher up, he was encountering these Illuminati people more and more and more. He's actually come out, he talks about it. They actually had to go into hiding for 5 years because they were threatened to kill him and his children and his grandchildren, which is what they often do. They threaten to kill like 3 generations if you talk. And he basically said the higher and higher he got up, he had to start like drinking baby's blood and like doing pedophilia and stuff to like push through the glass barriers. And eventually got so bad, he broke down. And then now he talks about it and they threatened to kill him. And he's still alive and he survived. But he went into hiding for something like 10 years. So from what I'm seeing is a lot of the darkness in the banking world is starting to subside now, and other bits and pieces, as well as in the police, as well as in big pharma. I've got a lady who is a friend of mine who I went and saw in Glastonbury. She's probably watching this, and she's a psychic, and she was helping the police catch a very big politician who was actually a Tory politician. And she called up the police, and she said, hey, I know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And it's linked to stuff going on with the military as well, with some of these underground bases, and they're killing soldiers, and they're watching the children watch these killings so that they can siphon off the adrenalized blood. And when she told that, the police came around to her house, and she said, well, I can link up all the dots for you because actually like it's linked to these missing soldiers. And the police, as soon as she said that, the police were like, we know you're telling the truth because this is like top secret stuff. So eventually it was linked. So this is a major conservative leader in the 80s, I think. And basically they got it to a court, and they got a top judge to look at it. And it was pedophilia linked to this top person, and the judge was in on it. So the judge just took one look at it and threw it out. So it went nowhere. So that is starting to stop, and it's starting to stop in the courts. It's starting to stop in big pharma, starting to stop in banking, because all these people are getting arrested and they're getting taken out. Some of them are getting executed, and it's real. It's happening. So so this good is slowly starting to prevail.
I really hope so. I really do hope so. But these people who are in these top positions, like, judges and courts, they don't they don't like to see these cases. They throw them out.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will be looked at, rigorously,
No, yeah. I mean, a lot of these cases now aren't getting thrown out, which is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, a lot of these people are going down.
But which country are we talking about when you say that?
Well, I from what I'm seeing is happening in America. It's happening in England. I don't know so much about the rest of Europe because I don't know how the Eurozone works in some of those areas. I can only talk about places that I have friends and family in, like America and in London. But it's, I think Julian Assange said with all the leaked files and all the things that he saw, that to get rid of all the corruption in US politics, you'd have to chuck out about 90%.
Yeah, or 98%, was it? Something like that.
It might be even more. Yeah, you just chuck them all out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know our friend the Orange Messiah, the T-Man. He helped drain the swamp to some degree, and from what I see from basically Nazara, people talking about Nazara, a lot of psychics. I'm seeing it with the ET people. I'm seeing it with the financial people. Something is happening. He's playing in the background. I think he's about to become very prominent all over again.
Trump. I love Trump. He's our Trump.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he's about to become prominent all over again. Did you hear that the Van Halen song? They did a remix of it. So is it, the song Jump, but they said might as well Trump. Da, 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 da. I love the remix they did of that. So they called it might as well Trump. That was so cool. So sometimes when I'm doing my Trump victory dance, I listen to that. But so things are moving.
Yeah. So what kind of things are we seeing that you could pinpoint, like clues and evidence around the world that that would indicate that Trump is coming back?
Well, I mean, people are getting stimulus packages already in America. I mean, some of the Nazara stuff has already kicked in, and before Trump was out, he already did sign some gold-backed policies, which they're in there, they're existing already. I gather that I think the majority of countries around the world have already apparently signed up to parts of Nazara. It's already, the package is there. So from what I'm seeing, we're just waiting for Sleepy Joe to get taken out by the military.
Yeah, do you know what? I really want another Trump rally. I just love the energy. I love him making the stories and the jokes. And they're going to raise your taxes. I just love him. I love his energy.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely amazing. I think he actually said the word. I think he called bullshit. But yeah, I mean, I think 1 million people turned up to that day or something. Was it something crazy like that? I was watching it live. I was actually going to watch you cover it, but I think you had a technical problem.
Oh, that one, yeah, with Nick Avia, yeah. They stopped all of the satellites apparently in that area, so not even people couldn't even upload their videos on social media of that event at that time in that place. That's how bad the censorship is. And you know what else? You use if you get any BitChute link and you post, comment, or share on Twitter will say unable to post. This link is harmful. Something like that. It's terrible, the censorship. Terrible.
Yeah. I mean, is your YouTube channel fully activational yet, or where is that sit now?
I just had one strike removed. So then I did a test. So I uploaded MLK, a full one, to see, because I've only been taken down because of Charlie. So I thought, let me upload the MLK now. And then that was removed, received back to 2 strikes. I'm on a 2-week ban again. So when I go back on YouTube, I will just be uploading trailers and saying, guys, the link's below in the description, head over to BitChute,
Yeah. That's what everyone's doing. So so they're making like a little teaser video, which is like 2 minutes long, and then they're saying, here's what I'm going to talk about. Head over to somewhere that's not going to take you down for telling the truth, basically.
I mean, it's either that and I'm uploading on BitChute, or it's I'm still uploading on BitChute, and then you lose the whole channel and people don't even know, because they some people don't even know, So
it's shocking, but it's brilliant to watch. BitChute is just growing and growing and growing.
It's growing. Yeah, it is growing. I know the CEO actually of BitChute, and we speak, and I said to him, and I want the listeners to know this because I get, your emails and I can't respond to everyone. And by the way, the emails are amazing. Thank you. And I've taken your feedback on BitChute and I've put it forward to the CEO to try and fix the issues. BitChute has also been deplatformed on the bank level. So they're having to find another bank that could offer them banking facilities, because they're trying to stop at every angle, Oh
my God, that is unreal. I've heard some of these people who are the political talk show hosts in America who are doing like all the intel on the political stuff. And they're saying, even from PayPal, they're saying, we can't process some of your payments on PayPal because it's linked to a YouTube account that is too conspiracy theorist or too like promoting hate stuff. So even PayPal have been getting in on suppression, which is, I mean, dark.
My advice to them is if you're going to make some money, just say it's you're doing health products or something like that, and do it through that, because you can't be honest with these financial institutions. They work for the cabal, and don't feel that you're being, that you're lying or being a criminal. You're not. You're protecting yourself from these monsters. And I'm telling everyone as well, the listeners as well. Alexander, it was lovely catching up with you. And we should do this again sometime soon. Is there anything that you want to say to the listeners?
Yeah, I want to say, just be careful what's going on out there right now, because there's a lot of craziness happening, and we could potentially be looking at another summer lockdown.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Do you know what? I saw you looking at your notes, and I thought, I'm sorry, Alexander. Did you have more to say?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, the only thing, I mean, I was just gonna talk about, if necessary, a little bit about some of the ET stuff attached to disclosure, and then I was going to finish up. But yeah, don't be too careful to book your flights and all this kind of stuff, because as a lot of people go, oh, everything's going to be fine, it's all going to go back to normal. And I'm seeing and I'm hearing and I'm predicting a third lockdown. And just when everyone thinks, they're out the woods, they're going to slam you again because there'll be a new variant, and there'll be something new that'll come out. And I will say, look, you got the rest of your life to go on holiday, get on a plane, and whatever, blah blah blah. Just hold on for just a little bit longer, because they want to shove that test up your nose and put nanobots into your system and everything else. And we're not too far away now from, all this coming good. So just slow down a little bit on booking your hotels and your flights and wanting to get out of the country. Don't get trapped in the system. That's my only other thing. But yeah, I mean, that apart from disclosure, the only thing I will add is, and I'll finish up, is, with the Nazara stuff and the ET stuff, it's a lot of linked things here, because Nazara and Jazara are going to unlock, 6,000 patents, which have been like free energy. Some of it's ET technologies, which have been reversed. Some of it is man-made ET technology from Lockheed Skunk Works. I mean, Ben Rich, who was the CEO of that company, openly said, we have the technology to take ET home. And everyone just laughed at him. There's pictures coming out now of the battleships, some of the US battleships, and they got it's called the TR-3B, the triangular anti-gravity craft. It's just like open source information now. It's in your face. So there's pictures of these triangle craft on the battleships now. So to finish up, it's all there. It's all there. You know, just get on DuckDuckGo. Don't use Google. Get on DuckDuckGo search engine. All the information's there. It's, you know, we're getting disclosures in lots of different ways, like the Hannity thing I said at the start of this interview. You know, that even they have said, you know, it's all the information is there. So keep your high hopes up. It's about to come good. And yeah, and that's all I got to say. We could do another interview some other time, but that'll be enough for time being.
All right, excellent, Alexander. Thank you so much for that, and we'll definitely speak again very soon. Yeah,
Nick, you are a legend, and I'll see you soon.
You too, likewise. God bless. God bless.
Yeah.
Bye bye.